we're past our current movie news, and we're going to go into 2016. I decided, since we were doing 2015 movie trailers, looking into the next, down the road this year, let's just look even farther, go into 2016, but we're going to do something a little different here. Just look at the, I want to kind of comment on the overall movie slate. Kind of what do we think overall of what 2016 is going to look like based on what it is now compared to what 2015 has been, and then kind of just give our highlights and the ones that we're looking actually excited for, and the ones that we actually think are going to be horrible and that we wouldn't watch even if you paid us. So first, I'm just going to start by saying I think that 2015 has been one of the slowest movie years as far as big name, exciting movies that I've experienced in a long time. It's been a pretty boring year.
Yeah.
And a part of that is because there have been a few movies that got shifted around. Force Awakens was supposed to be out now, May. I mean, this was supposed to be the time that it was coming out in theaters originally, but it got pushed to December, which basically makes it almost a 2016 movie as it is. You're in mid to late December, and then Batman Superman was supposed to come out later this summer. That got pushed to 2016. So there's been a lot that got moved over that were going to be big tentpole movies.
Which probably a lot of these will get pushed back too.
But even so, as I look through this list, there are over 30 movies that I put down that are either sequels to existing franchises or remakes or continuation of comic book things, all that kind of stuff. That's a lot. Like, it's going to be a busy year for movies in 2016. A lot busier, I think, than 2015 was. Whether you like it or like most of these movies or hate most of them or whatever, it looks like a better overall movie season than 2015 has been. In my opinion, what do you think? When you look through these titles, do you agree with that?
Well, I'm not like. I mean, this is not all of the movies, obviously, that are coming out, but it's quite a few of them. And I mean, when you say most of them are remakes or sequels, that just makes my heart just go, oh, because that just seems to be like the norm now. Mm-hmm. There's just so few original ideas. And I mean, I realize it's hard to come up with original ideas now because somebody's probably done it or done something like it. But when they started doing Transformers and G.I. Joe and all this other stuff, and then Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles the other year, I just always said to people why do they have to ruin my childhood? And it just seems like they just are going to continue to do that with some of the movies that are coming out. But I don't know. If they can, like I said earlier, if they can reboot a franchise or a movie or remake a movie, and it's a good, then great. I mean, there's a lot of movies that have surprised the hell out of me. Like 21 Jump Street. Who thought that would be any good? And I went to that in the theater, and I really liked it. And I was like, this is surprisingly really good. Yeah. It's really funny. It was smart, and it was because they weren't like it was so loosely based on that. It was basically just a buddy comedy movie with the title 21 Jump Street. I don't know. So it could be good. It could be bad. Some of these I'm looking forward to, and we'll get into that. But I don't know. It's hard to tell. It's hard to tell until it's actually presented in front of you, and you just kind of go from there. But I like original ideas. There's some indie movies that I really enjoy too. Most of these are pretty big studio movies. And
part of the reason why I'm making this list, it's hard to pull those indie movies out. We haven't seen a thing from them yet.
Well, yeah, because they can't. There's nothing. They don't have any backing.
We just have these titles, and it's like, okay, well, until we see trailers, And I think that's part of the reason why this is so exciting. Because if this is a slate of major films, just think of all the other small little gems
that are
going to be out there too.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I think you're right. I think it's going to be a good year, busy year. And I
Yes.
think you're totally right about 2015. It's been kind of a snore fest
Yeah.
thus far. I can't think of anything to note. In fact, I used to go to the theater like weekly to see something. Usually,
Yeah.
I'll pick up and I'll go by myself on a Tuesday afternoon, or I'll go with a friend, and go see a movie every single week. I went with you guys to the Avengers, and previous to that, I hadn't been to the theater for like a month. There's just never anything of note
Yeah.
there, and it's, I don't know, but I'm hoping that 2016 will be different.
But once Ant-Man comes out, you'll be there opening weekend, right?
I will camp out in front of the theater, even though you don't even need to do that many anymore.
No.
I was surprised at how little people were at the 11 o'clock showing of the Avengers.
Because there's so many screenings now. Like,
I mean, it used to be the one midnight showing,
Mhm.
where so there'd be 300 people lined up, and now it's, what was it? And it was like
It
the
started-
night before.
It started at 7 o'clock
Yeah.
on Thursday, and there was a showing every half hour up through midnight. So, like,
Of 2D and 3D.
yep, of 2D and 3D. And, but
I don't-
it still was half full, even though there was
That was a huge
considering-
theater. And
considering.
it was like, I'd say it was maybe only like a third full, if that.
But still, considering that there's a showing every half hour, that's actually still pretty impressive that you're getting that many people in there. I don't know. Yeah, but you're right. I mean, it used to be a bigger deal than
Used to
it
be
is.
I don't mind that. I like not being surrounded by a bunch of people.
Yeah.
And then when we get unlucky and like the two that sit in front of us all are talking the entire time. But I digress. So I'm excited about 2016. I'm a little hesitant as well. So Ben.
But yeah, I mean, looking at this list, it's probably gonna wind up seeing, not saying I'm going to be enjoying, but I'm probably gonna be seeing, I don't know, maybe half of them, maybe a little less, but obviously this year has been far from stellar. What was the last movie before Avengers that I saw?
I was trying to think of that too, and John was talking about that.
It can't be Jupiter Ascending. I refuse to
Oh.
believe that.
Just the fact that you went to go see Jupiter Ascending.
I will say I did not see that thinking it'd be good. Okay, I heard there was a half man, half bee, and I had to see it.
Wait, is that the character that?
No, yeah, Channing Tatum plays the half man, half wolf.
Oh,
Uh,
wow.
but once you find out that Sean Bean is playing a bee man, you've got there's nothing stopping me from seeing that movie. Okay.
Oh, wow. Sean B. Man. oh, yeah.
But let me see. Jupiter Ascending was what, February?
Something like that.
That can't be. I'm sure you went to something since then.
There's gotta be something.
The Fast and Furious movie?
When was that?
That would have been after that.
I wonder if American Sniper was the last movie I saw in theaters.
Oh, I saw that one too.
That
Okay.
might have been the last one I saw, American Sniper. That might have been
Wow.
it.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah, that was January.
Let me see.
So I wonder if that was it.
Jupiter Ascending, Fast and Furious 7. I swear I don't have terrible taste in movies,
Fast and
people.
Furious 7 was only like a month ago. So that's I'm pretty sure that's the last one I saw before the Avengers.
Yeah.
Yeah, well.
That one's gonna win Best Picture according to Vin Diesel.
So that just shows you how slow 2015 has been.
Yeah, there's literally been like nothing of note.
And there's nothing in May. I mean, we went through all those trailers this year, and there's nothing for the rest of
No,
May, which is usually a huge month for
We
films.
picked apart there was maybe a couple that we were actually
Mission Impossible and Spectre are like the two
Yeah.
big winners of that list.
like that we all wanted to see,
Yeah.
and then there was just a few that like
Yeah, I mean,
Ben and I
yeah.
wanted to see. And
Mad Max
and-
is gonna be a day one.
Yeah.
Oh, so that's coming out on.
Yeah,
no,
but really, there wasn't much that we were very interested
Mad
in.
Max, Poltergeist, San Andreas, man, Jurassic World, which you're so wrong about.
I hope you're wrong about it.
Terminator, Ant-Man, Pan, Mission. Yeah, nothing.
Yeah. Well,
You're gonna have to tell me, if I'm just have to trust you, because I'm not going to see Jurassic World, so I'm gonna have to trust you that you'll
You
give an
hate
honest
fun.
review. No, I don't.
It's James Rosenthal, the fun killer, ladies and gentlemen.
I should put that on the opening credits. James Rosenthal, fun killer.
You're just anti-fun.
I am. That's what I am.
Speaking of anti-fun, let's move to the 2016 movie list.
Let's, John.
Actually, no. This looks like it's shaping up to be a fun,
Pretty starting out strong at least.
fun year.
Yeah, and one thing that is interesting is I was looking through, and there's obviously January is known as one of the big movie graveyards. So there's nothing in January that's of any note, because that's where most studios just put their garbage. That's where they take
If
out
they
the
just
trash,
don't want to be first, or I don't know.
Well, I think it's historically known as just a really low revenue month for people to go see movies anyway. So they just throw it's out there, and they're like, whatever.
That, and as far as for Oscar nominations, you're not gonna get remembered if you release your movie in January.
True. 'Cause the Oscars are in January or they're in February.
I can't
Right around
remember.
that time.
Yeah, February, March,
That
somewhere in
makes
there.
sense.
Yeah,
So yeah, January is the movie graveyard. There's nothing there, but considering that Star Wars: The Force Awakens will be in theaters into January,
You can just go to that.
I'll probably be going to that a few times if it's awesome. So
That's awesome.
yes, if it's awesome, I'll be
I
going.
stand by my I'm
And-
gonna wait and see approach to it.
And John's gonna go just to delete his previous record of most times he's been to a theater to see it.
Yeah, the prequel,
Phantom Menace.
Phantom Menace 3 times.
Yeah, you might want to erase that from your record.
Yeah,
I
3
might have been
times.
drunk one of them. Does that because my mind wasn't really there. Maybe I got drunk before I saw the third one because
Well,
that's the only way I
In all
could have
fairness,
gone.
could your mind truly be there after seeing it that many times either way? Even sober? Like, really?
I'm sorry, what?
See, exactly.
Okay. But moving on.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah.
So, as far as, I'll just name a few movies that I think I'm most excited for. As I look through this list, Captain America Civil War, although they released the plot synopsis for that just the other day, and I'm concerned because every single Avenger under the sun is in this movie, and so it just feels like they should have
Avengers
titled...
3?
Yeah, they should have just named this Avengers Civil War. So I'm really worried that the Captain America is going to be lost in the shuffle in this film.
Maybe they're just small cameos.
Maybe, but even the new Spider-Man's going to be in this movie.
Oh.
That's where they're going to debut him.
Oh, wow.
And so it's going to be crowded. Yeah. So.
Wow. So that brings up a question that's kind of a tangent, but so does Marvel own Spider-Man again now?
No.
Or how does that work?
So they worked out a deal with Sony.
Oh, okay.
Because Sony's so desperate now after this last reboot that they're trying to figure out a way to make Spider-Man work. So Marvel and them have worked out a deal that
It's
Spider-Man...
like, dude, can we get in on your Avengers movies, man?
Yeah, so that Spider-Man can appear in Avengers movies, and then also Avengers can appear in Spider-Man movies as well, going forward.
I have a feeling by like 2018, every movie is just gonna have an Avenger in it.
Yeah,
It's like a romantic comedy, and Iron Man's in the background, like destroying something.
he just flies
What was
by.
that? I don't know.
He's just there.
It's just a background.
It all takes place in the Avengers universe. So, anyways, I'm excited for that. I'm excited for X-Men Apocalypse.
Oh yeah.
Day of the Future Past was an excellent film, and one thing that Bryan Singer does know how to do is X-Men movies. If nothing else, recently he's shown us in the comic book world. Maybe not Superman, but he knows how to do X-Men movies very, very well. And so I'm looking forward to X-Men Apocalypse. Scanning through here. I would say Star Trek 3, but there has been a lot of problems with that movie getting it moving forward, so I'm a little worried about it. Justin Lin is directing it, known for his Fast and Furious movies. Again, makes me a little worried for this one.
Are they gonna be drifting through space?
Tokyo drifting through space, yes, they could be. So yeah, that one has me a little worried, but I'll still say that I'm excited for it. Suicide Squad. I'm excited for Suicide Squad. We get Joker, which the Joker pick with all the tattoos. They're now saying that that's not how he's going to really appear in the movie. That he actually has scars where the tattoos are in that picture. But to me, that sounds like
backpedaling pretty hard.
To me, that sounds like a backpedal when the director himself released that photo on Twitter. And why would they make that picture up when that's not how he was originally supposed to appear? I think that that's how he was. Fans reacted poorly, and now they're changing that. They're going to refilm certain scenes that they already shot him with him, and he'll just have scars now instead of tattoos.
They could CG him out, even.
Or they could CG them out. But, as long as that damaged tattoo is gone from the forehead, I'm a happy man. The other tattoos I didn't mind so much, but hey. So anyway, that movie will have Will Smith in it as Deadshot. It'll have Harley Quinn.
Margot Robbie.
Margot Robbie is playing Harley Quinn, and to have her interaction with the Joker will be awesome. I think I've been waiting to see a Joker Harley Quinn interactions, and that will make the future Batman movies with Joker even have a better dynamic. It'll be a different take on the Joker than what we've seen even in the previous two films, so I'm glad for that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm semi-excited for Gambit, although they could screw that up. Fox is putting that out, not necessarily Marvel Studios, so we'll see. Doctor Strange, I'm excited for. I've wanted a Doctor Strange movie for the longest time, and so I'm hoping that we'll get it going. Benedict Cumberbatch playing Doctor Strange, I think, is an inspired choice. We'll see if he can pull it off, but
I so would have preferred Viggo Mortensen.
But I'm still excited for this movie. Lastly, obviously, I'll put Star Wars Rogue One. I do have reservations, but again,
it's Star Wars.
It's Star Wars, and I think that the studio has the heart and the drive to make these movies as good as they possibly can. So right now, without seeing anything from these films, those are the ones I'm absolutely most excited for. What about you, John? What do you got?
Well, ones that I'm looking forward to. I mean, right off the hop in February, you have Deadpool, and I mean, this is a movie that we've been hearing about for seemingly forever.
Yes.
In rumor, in fact, and whatever.
Ever since they butchered him in X-Men Origins. Wolverine.
So bad. But I mean, you've been hearing about this forever, so I mean,
and
that could be.
When they released that test footage, that CG test footage, that was just so phenomenal.
Oh, I didn't even know about that.
That one that was like animated, it was voiced by Ryan Reynolds even. That's what got this movie off the ground even.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm surprised I haven't seen it.
No, I mean, because that's the thing, I'm not huge into Deadpool, but I'm excited for that movie just because from what I know of Deadpool and like Ryan Reynolds, how he played the character, I think it would be pretty sweet.
And it's a very fresh take on a comic book movie.
Yeah, like the character of Deadpool is just crazy anyway.
Yeah.
So if they can capture that, like the mucking towards the camera,
yes.
and if they can capture that stuff and do it well, I think it's going to be really funny and just it's got to be rated R. It has to.
Yeah, it's going to be.
And I just think it could be really cool.
It could be. I hope so.
A lot of sequels and reboots.
Yeah.
Yeesh. X-Men Apocalypse definitely because of Days of Future Past. I mean, that was just a phenomenal movie.
Oh, it was.
Really, that was another one that really surprised me.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that they can capture that in this one.
It was one of those things where I was watching the trailer for Days of Future Past. The trailer's come out, and I'm like, this looks incredible. Please let these be as good as the trailer.
The scene with the Quicksilver scene in itself.
Oh,
that's
is
worth the
one
ticket
of
price.
the best scenes in a movie I've seen in a long time.
Not only beautifully shot the way they did those effects, but just hilarious.
The music, accompanied with the cheekiness of the scene.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's a kid doing it, so you're in his mindset, and it's just like he knows that he can pretty much do anything, so he's gonna fool around and then finally be like, oh yeah, by the way, I have to go like move this bullet out of the way. It's just phenomenal, which makes, you know, unrelated, but which makes his death in the Avengers just look
Way
stupid.
But at the same time, too,
How could
like,
he die if
but-
he can
and-
move that
and then
fast?
the contrast.
Spoiler alert, by the way.
Yeah, sorry. Oh, we know you've been following on our other video.
Exactly. If you haven't, shame on you, and it's your fault. So.
Yeah, might want to put a spoiler warning caption.
Yeah, you should. You should. He should.
Spoilers to Avengers in our
Exactly.
episode has nothing to do with Avengers.
Yeah.
But no, just on a touch on that. The interesting thing about those two movies with Quicksilver is that the Days of Future Past movie to me makes me I want to see this young Quicksilver come back.
And he's in the movie for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, the Avengers film, I didn't really care that
You
he
didn't care
died.
that
He
he
was
died.
kind of boring.
Yeah.
So,
Oh, Aaron Taylor Johnson.
but anyway,
Just go back to playing the title role in Kick-Ass.
He was good
Although
at that.
Kick-Ass 2, I never did see that. I heard it was really
Don't.
kind of bad.
Don't.
So,
Just,
alright.
just don't.
Spoiler alert. Let's see, what else? There's not really a lot hitting me. I mean, okay, so you've got the Ghostbusters reboot with an all-female cast. I mean, I'm a huge Ghostbusters fan, and anything Ghostbusters, I'll see. It's hard for me to like figure out whether I'm really excited about that or because it's Ghostbusters, or if I'm like really upset about it because it's Ghostbusters. But the people involved in it have previously worked together, and it seems like it might work. Like Paul Feig, however you say his name,
Yeah.
Bridesmaids, all female cast. It could be really good. There's a couple kind of unknowns in there from SNL, but I don't know. It could be really good. So I'm looking forward to that one. Cautiously so. That's really about it. There's not a whole lot else that kind of jumps up at me. Not that I necessarily think all the other ones are bad. It's just they don't really jump out at me as something that I'd be like, oh, that's really cool. I would really like to go see.
You're telling me the Angry Birds movie, you're not excited for that? Is that what you're telling me?
I hate you so much, James. I just don't get that, but we will get there. We will get there.
Kind of showing your hand for later on in the.
It's what we do here.
Yes, it looks like a bird. Oh.
No, what's the plan?
Run for Marty!
That's like your go-to.
Not every movie's Back to the Future, okay?
Oh, wow.
John's gonna be so excited one day when they announce a Back to the Future reboot.
Wow. Yeah. That will, you know what's sick about that is that will happen at some point.
It will.
In our lifetimes.
Mhm.
You want to see me rage out? Wait till they announce that.
They will.
That will totally happen.
That's one of my top 5 favorite movies of
With
all
Chris
time.
Pratt as Marty McFly.
I'm trying to
So
think.
these are not too bad.
No, Eric Stoltz.
And Benedict Cumberbatch as Doc Brown.
Buddy.
I can't even imagine that.
Christopher Lloyd will still be in there somewhere.
Yeah.
They'll put him in there.
They'll put his corpse in the back.
Just his headstone. This is terrible. Terrible.
This is taking a dark,
This
dark.
is taking a
All
dark.
of this off of Angry Birds.
I know. What? Tangent
See,
alert.
This is what Angry Birds does to
Tangent
people.
alert.
See, this is what it does.
It doesn't waste your time, and it gets you thinking about dead Christopher Lloyd in a reboot of Back to the Future, starring Eric Stoltz as Marty McFly.
And
Wow.
Benedict
Benedict
Cumberbatch as
Cumberbatch.
Doc Brown.
Ben?
Hi.
Hey, how you doing, pal? What do you got? What do you got for us? Dig us out of this hole.
I'm not the one you want to turn to do that. You know that.
You're our only hope.
Bring us down the rabbit hole, Ben.
I'm not talking about the movie yet, okay?
That's the next
Just
segment.
wait till
That's the next segment.
next round.
Alice in Wonderland.
Okay, so I'm going through what I'm kind of looking forward to. Deadpool. Come on, that just looks so good. The photos they've put out that showed me the costume is just perfect. I mean, I think it might be the most accurate costume we've seen in a comic book movie as far as, comparing it to the comics.
Mm-hmm.
And it looks like they are that little scene, that CG little demo reel thing. It looks like they are filming that for this movie. So for those who want to get a little preview of what this movie might be about, check that scene out.
I will have to do that too.
Yeah, but looks phenomenal. Not gonna argument over it though. Going down May 13th. What I'm a horror movie fan. I'm a slasher movie fan. I want to see another Friday the 13th.
And honestly, that's one more in my cautiously optimistic territory. I'm hoping for it to be good.
Rumor has it this one takes place at winter in Crystal Lake, which could be so cool, that setting. Because that would explain why they can't just run away. They're snowed in.
I just hope it turns into like a Jason versus Mr. Freeze movie, and Arnold Schwarzenegger can come back.
I'm hoping for Jason versus Jack Frost, the serial killers.
Michael Keaton.
No.
That'd be even better.
The other snowman.
Oh, the one that kills people with his carrot nose.
Yes. That's what I'm hoping for.
How many times have they rebooted Jason now?
This is the third time.
I mean, really?
Right? Like officially, it's the third time.
Officially, yeah. I mean, you could make some arguments for other installments, but
those always had the same numbering.
Yeah.
So it's third time. Because the last time they rebooted it was only one movie, and
with good reason.
and they never did anything more than that one film. So here we are again.
This one, I have at least some hopes that it will at least be some fun. I'm not expecting it to be really good. Let's be honest.
It really depends on who's involved with it, I guess.
Because if it's just some amateur, director, I mean, although I guess David Bruckner is the director of this, and I can't remember his credits that I saw. I don't think I saw anything huge that he did. But it's just, do you have a heart to make this a good movie and not just a cash grab?
Well, and that's the thing. What made the old horror movies like that so good was that they weren't like these big budget crazy things. They were kind of more like indie horror movies,
And there's a charm to them, really.
Yeah. And I think another part of it too, though, and this is where even Friday the 13th quickly got off base.
Yeah.
I think the best horror movies are ones where we have sympathetic main characters that we like. Mm-hmm. And Friday the 13th and Halloween, after the first movies, it turned into where every one of these characters are annoying, and you actually want them to die.
When they die, it's kind of like, yay!
You're actually cheering for them to die.
Where Jason's the hero of the movie.
Yes.
Is a way to go, to be honest.
I just don't like that. If you're actually trying to make a scary horror movie, then make these characters likable, so that we actually are rooting for them to get away. We're scared for them. That is how you should do, at least in my opinion, a good horror movie. So I'm hoping that's where this one goes. That we'll get some good sympathetic characters. Not everyone has to be sympathetic, but if most of them are, then it actually makes their deaths tragic and something we'd want to have avoided in these movies.
Yeah, I mean, there was one character in the most recent reboot that I kind of wanted to see survive that got killed off, but, I need more than one character.
Yeah.
I just don't think that there's any movie that's going to be made horror movie wise that does it much better than Cabin in the Woods.
That was phenomenal.
So good.
Yeah.
Because it just kind of took all of that tongue-in-cheekness of horror and just did it perfectly.
Yeah.
So if you are a fan of horror and have not seen Cabin in the Woods, see that movie. It's pretty fantastic.
Yeah. It references every single horror movie that's ever existed as far as I can think of. Yeah.
It's good.
I'm really looking. I might be the only person in the world looking forward to Friday the 13th.
No, I want
it to be good.
I do. I want it to be a solid, good movie that I'd actually go out and pick up on Blu-ray and watch.
But good or bad, I'm at least gonna be checking it out.
Yeah.
After that, X-Men Apocalypse, of course, we've gone over that. I've got no reason to think anything other than it's gonna be at least, fun. But of course, once they actually show us more of the Apocalypse character, that's when we can start to worry because, yeah, in the comics, he's never really worked entirely for me, that character. So let's see if Bryan Singer can do him some justice, though, and make him work. But a movie I've been hearing a lot of good things about, even though I'm not a huge fan of the video game series, Warcraft is getting a lot of good buzz early on. There's been some footage screened for some people at some certain conventions. I've been hearing that it actually is looking pretty decent.
Well, didn't we, when we looked some of this stuff up earlier, who was involved with this?
Duncan Jones,
Director
of Moon.
And Source Code.
Just nothing really much other than that, but those two movies in my mind, I mean, that's just for him to be, Source Code and Moon, you know, two kind of good movies. Moon kind of off the wall a little bit,
I wonder if what he's doing with this movie, and again, I haven't seen anything, but I wonder if he's saying, okay, let's go back to the old Sword and Sandals type movies, but just make a really good, high-budget, awesome Sword and Sandals flick that has a captivating story, instead of just trying to make it like the video game.
the video game, yeah.
You know,
it's Warcraft is attached to it just because, you know, I'm sure they're
it takes place in a universe
they're
like
licensed through them, so they have to make a movie about Warcraft, just like they had to make a movie about Battleship.
I'd like to think this is a different situation.
Let's hope they go a different route.
Wow, freaking Battleship.
Rumor has it there are characters from the MMO that are in this movie. Of course, we don't know for sure because no footage has really been shown to the mass public. I mean, only privately hasn't been shown to people.
Well,
but
I just think it's going to be more of like, instead of making like the games, like you could include characters that are in like the actual game, but instead of trying to make it like that,
don't make like a raiding party go out.
Yeah, exactly.
And have somebody scream, Leroy Jenkins, as they go into the raid cave.
Well, there's got to be someone named Leroy Jenkins in this movie. You know,
who gets killed like immediately.
Yeah.
I remember I was at San Diego Comic-Con in 2008, and I sat in on a panel for Max Payne, the movie, right? And the director said,
I feel so sorry for you.
No, but it was part of like a larger, like, I think it was like a Fox panel, and that was part of it. And the director came out, and he said, and this was the moment that, I mean, I always knew it was probably going to be garbage, because 99% of video game-based films are garbage. For this reason, he said, this movie, fans are going to love it, because we've shot it so that you feel like you're actually playing the game. The moment he said that,
if I wanted to play the game, I'd play the game.
Exactly. That's the moment I was like, this is going to be absolute garbage.
But I will say, Warcraft has a good enough story that it can be adapted to the big screen successfully, I do think.
Oh, no, I agree.
So I don't
There's
really
a lot
think,
of lore there.
I really don't think they, in this case, I think it would be appropriate to stick to the game's story and not, go too far away from what the player experiences in the game necessarily.
Yeah.
The big question is, are they going to have the big alliance and horde thing? Are they going to take a side in that whole dispute? Because the fans are going to go nuts if they do. Which side is the main character going to be on? But, that's the thing. Warcraft, even though not a huge fan of the game, I might check that one out, actually. But yeah, after that, let me see. Yeah, let me see. The Ghostbusters reboot I kind of remarked here. I would feel a lot better about it if Melissa McCarthy was not in it. And if they were to announce tomorrow, we're replacing Melissa McCarthy with Emma Stone, day one.
Yeah.
But that's my main thing. I'm just like,
because I think she does well as I don't know. I don't think she really does that well as like a title character. Because I think I heard that like if she's gonna be when she's in this movie, she's gonna be like in the Bill Murray role, kind of. If you even want to compare. And it's like I don't know. I'm just not sure about that, but.
Yeah.
It's just like you just have to kind of wait. It's a wait and see kind of thing.
But that's one of the things where I'm kind of looking forward to it because it is a different way to do things. If you're gonna relaunch the series, female cast, yeah, why not? I mean, it's something new.
I just hope it's I hope it's just not a gimmick.
Yeah.
Which it kind of seems.
It feels
gimmicky.
like it.
Yeah.
It feels like it, and I just hope that this is not a movie. And I'm not planning on seeing it personally, but I would hope it's not a movie where they're just referencing the old Ghostbusters movies. Like, get it? Hey.
Because that could be something that they definitely could do. Yeah.
We'll see. I mean, I'm gonna wait till we actually see a trailer before I form any kind of opinion on it.
Yeah.
But could be fun. Of course, Suicide Squad. I am looking forward to that. Well, as much as I can, seeing all the pictures they keep releasing that keep kind of chipping away a little bit at my hope. I mean, that picture with Killer Croc and it just looks hilarious. But it could be alright. I mean, I think I might have been one of the few people who kind of called Will Smith being cast as Deadshot. I don't know why, but when they announced the movie, I'm like, I wonder if they're gonna have Will Smith as Deadshot. And they announced it like a couple weeks later. I don't know. But, so, the big question for me is whether or not the Joker's going to be on the squad or not. Because in that big cast photo of the squad, you do not see the Joker in there.
I wonder
if he's the villain.
No, I don't know if he's the villain or not, but
they didn't include him because
I think maybe they're redoing him, and
so
maybe they originally planned to have him in the shot, but they took him out on purpose because they're redoing the whole thing after the Tattoo Furor.
It's definitely looking interesting. I mean, Suicide Squad, they've never really been something that DC's really pushed to the forefront, and this is the first time that they've ever really been called Suicide Squad outside of the comics, as far as I know. They've always been referred to as Task Force X because suicide's a taboo word, which I can kind of understand why, but once you know what the story of the comics is, Suicide Squad, that name makes sense.
So is the Suicide Squad, is this going to somehow tie in with Batman and Superman? And
it's in that same universe.
They're the Justice League.
Is this
the anti-Justice League?
No.
Yeah, you could look at it like that. It's kind of similar.
But not necessarily.
The basic rundown is, I don't know if it's going to be the government or if it's going to be Checkmate, whatever, an evil organization or something. They essentially put together a group of all these criminals, and they put bombs in their heads.
And that's the Suicide Squad?
Yeah.
Oh, that's where they get their name. I guess that makes sense.
They send them on these missions that are pretty much suicide, that no one could really come back from reasonably and say, okay, now go into the stadium filled that has 20,000 zombies in it and extract this one VIP from it. That's actually in the comics. That was one of their missions, and that is basically the purpose of Squad. Is that government sends them on all these suicide missions, basically, and they have bombs in their heads, and
that forces them to comply.
Yeah, and the reason why it was formed was to put all these B-list villains. No one really knew what to do with them, so they figured, why don't we just put them in the squad where it doesn't matter if we kill them off, because who cares?
Yeah.
So that's a basic idea behind the squad, and this actually. A lot of these names in the squad, most people really don't know unless they're really big comic book fans.
But it is a smart way for them to highlight some of these villains, get some interest around them, so that when they become villains in these solo DC movies that are coming out, we actually kind of already know who they are.
Yeah.
One of the Flash's villains is in this incarnation, Captain Boomerang. He's one of his bigger ones. He's in the Rogues.
Wow.
Hey, he's so good with his boomerang, he's actually able to hit the Flash. That's how the Rogues wouldn't let him in to this group until they found out he could hit him with his boomerang. And then they're like, okay, fine, you're cool enough to join.
Well, that's why his name is Captain Boomerang and not like PFC Boomerang.
Yeah, that wouldn't play too well.
But there's also Captain Cold. So I don't know how that all works out in the Rogues.
Captain Cold Cuts.
Get some cold cuts.
But the Suicide Squad, that could be an interesting idea. And you know, the reason why I'm hoping that Joker isn't on the squad is because I'd hope the government would be smart enough not to put Harley Quinn and the Joker on the same team. I mean, that just sounds like a bad idea. And I'm hoping they put Harley on the team so that because she knows the Joker and, you know, they're essentially sending the squad to take down the Joker, you know. But...
Or just maybe remove his tattoos. You
Yeah.
never know.
who knows?
Strap him to a chair and remove those tattoos.
Not the tattoo removal machine!
But, you know, yeah. Suicide
Sorry, we
Squad.
were ordered by the studio. Anything else on that list?
Yeah, the last one, I'm kind of looking forward to Doctor Strange, even though Benedict Cumberbatch, I don't know about him as Doctor Strange. Like
Are you saying he's a strange choice?
He is a strange choice, yes. I paused there so that you could edit in rim shot. But like I kind of would have preferred Viggo Mortensen as Doctor Strange. He was kind of the actor I kind of thought it would be perfect for the role. But, you know, it could be an interesting idea depending how they do it. He's, as far as I remember, he's in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, he's the first pretty much occultist hero that we're going to be seeing, which is going to be an interesting way to see how they make that work, because
Yeah.
I mean,
Well, we'll
he
see.
uses dark magic. I mean,
Yeah, we'll see how they tone that down if they do, because they might. You know, you never
but they
know.
can't, I mean,
You never know where they're going with it, though.
that's his character.
And you know the way that the Avengers went with the studio's strange decisions, you never know necessarily what they're gonna do.
Maybe Dr. Strangelove is in love with the Hulk. That's why it's a strange love. You see?
I created a monster.
Like the Hulk.
Anyway, so speaking of disappointments,
Speaking of disappointments, let's go to John now. Oh.
so,
Well, you see.
and here's the news.
Honey, I'm home. Lucy.
It's kind of Pee Wee Hermanish too there.
That's a little bit too much, Pee Wee.
Not enough, Pee Wee Herman. Come on.
I Love Lucy, starring Paul Rubens.